Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica, and in today's video, I am going to be doing my end of month wrap up for September. So by the time you see this, it will be tomorrow because it's been a week. So anyway, let's get into the books because that's what I'm here for, and I'm sure that's what you're here for too. So in the month of September, I read 29 books. It was a good reading month. I had 7 5 stars, 9 4.5 stars, 4 5 stars, 2 3.5 stars, 2 3 stars, 1 DNF, and 3 rereads. So when I read these books, I read 2 ebooks. One was Suburban Lies, which I really enjoyed, and I listened to 27 audiobooks. I mean, it's me. I always listen to audiobooks. Anyhow, I had 5 historical romances, 6 paranormal romances, 11 contemporary, 4 romantic suspense, and 3 cozy mysteries. So I think it was a good little mashup. But let's talk about some of my favorites. I started off the month with a 5-star, and that is What We Keep by Jennifer Milligan. This is a standalone. This is Marriage in Trouble, and it's told a little differently. So when I went into this book, I was expecting something that was fun and flirty, like here for the cake. This was not. This was angsty, and it's going to tear your heart out, but it's worth every single heartache. This thing is like, I loved it. So Avery and Gabriel meet when he rescues her from a fire. He is a firefighter. He asks her out when she goes to thank him for saving her life. And they feel like they had the perfect marriage, the perfect relationship. However, Gabriel has a substance abuse disorder. He devolves after a tragedy, and how it really affected their relationship, and how they had to come to terms that their perfect marriage was not a perfect marriage, and they had to work through a lot of their stuff. It was so well done, well paced. The story was interesting. I loved the character development. That they really grew as characters and individually and as a couple. Even when their time apart was necessary, it was just so well done. If I had to compare it to something, it would be Before I Let Go, except this has nothing to do with a miscarriage. The problem is his substance abuse disorder, and that's what breaks him apart. So I highly recommend this one, but you've been warned, it's very angsty and it will leave you traumatized. Oh, but one thing I want to say before I move on to the next one, the therapy representation is fantastic. I love mental health representation when it's in a book and it's done well. So the next one I read was Murder at the Blueberry Festival by Darcy Hannah. This is book 3 in the Beacon Bake Shop mystery series. Lindsay Bakewell runs a bakery out of a haunted lighthouse in Beacon Harbor, Michigan, and she has been seeing this guy named Rory. She met in book 1 when she first arrived in Beacon Harbor, and someone is playing funny and harmless pranks on the people of the town during the Blueberry Festival. It's honestly really fun because they start throwing water balloons at the mayor, and then like some of them gets a little gross and it's a little cringy for me, like the mice coming out of the pies and stuff. But these pranks are harmless. However, one day, Lindsay wakes up to a goat that's floating in a boat. Say that 6 times fast. And unfortunately, someone is dead in that boat, dressed up as a Viking. It was a Viking burial. And we find out who killed him, I should say, because it's considered a murder. It's not who you expect. The mystery is well thought out, well developed and plotted. The character development is good. I really enjoyed this. But anyway, I had fun with this. This was a lot of fun. It was short. It was really well done. I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with this one, and it was a really good time. Next one that I did read was Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. And listen, this has been everywhere. I'm sure a lot of you have read it by now. She's a country star without a loving foundation. Her dad and mom were basically managers and they didn't care about her. West is a single dad because he doesn't want to take time away from his child and his horse farm because a lot of that takes time. And Skylar comes to Rose Hill to escape the paparazzi after some of her life blew up. And they met when she was filming on the side of the road a mama grizzly bear and her cubs, because she was trying to post it to social media so she could feel authentic and approachable. He ended up saving her life, okay? She goes to the recording studio. Rose, who works at the recording studio, this is from book 1. Rose has her go to stay at the bunkhouse on Wes's land. And so it's definitely forced proximity. The character development was impeccably done with this one. The romance was fantastic. I enjoyed Skylar becoming confident and growing bolder as the story progressed and saying what she wanted. I loved how Wes supported her, and ultimately he really helped her with her character growth. And then the romance was definitely spicy because it's Elsie Silver, but it was also very sweet, and I enjoyed every minute of this book. This book is my favorite book that I've read in the month of September. So then I read for a vlog. I read Bourbon and Lies, I read Playbook, and I read Business Casual. I'll link it down below. I ended up rating Playbook 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. See, I didn't think I was gonna like this one as much as I liked Burned Out, because I loved Burned Out. London met Broden 6 when she yelled at him because of all the panties that were being sent to her P.O. box, because he used to have that P.O. box. He was so intrigued by her, he kept asking her help. She kept saying no, 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 no. And then one night at a sports bar, he even actually sent her tickets to go to the NFL game that he was playing in, and she did accept those tickets. And then at that sports bar that night, London ran into her ex, who was just not a good guy. Her sister is marrying her ex's brother, so they were going to be seeing a lot of each other. And she needed someone, a beard basically. She needed someone to fake date with her. Brogan needed to fix his reputation because he would never really turn down a woman if they wanted to do something with him, right? This was sort of a win-win situation. London was able to bring Brogan to her family get-togethers, and Brogan was able to get more of a clean reputation because he was dating the same girl for more than one day. And Brogan was such a well-written character. He was swoony, he was playful, but he also had emotional depth. London was equally well written. I feel like the romance itself was sweet and yes, spicy. The character growth was perfect in this book. Rebecca Jinchak was on top of her game for this book. I just loved it, and I had to give it 5 stars. And then for that same video, I read Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is book 4 in her Love Light Farm series, and I think this is the last book that she's going to be writing in this series. This one is actually my favorite in the series. This one is Nova and Charlie. They were casual friends with benefits because they're both attracted to each other. Of course, everybody in the small town picks up on it very, very quickly. They were very flawed and very relatable characters. And Charlie fell first. I love it when the hero falls first. And I love very flawed characters. And I was a little wary about going into this book because it's brother's best friend. I don't like it when the brother acts stupid when he finds out that his sister's dating his best friend. And that doesn't actually happen here. I love the way Nova's brother reacts. He is just so relatable, and it was so good. He's like, well, don't hurt her. I'm going to choose her. So, and he told her, Nova, don't hurt him because he's my best friend. So I really loved it, and it had the fall vibes that I was looking for. And then I read The Perfect Rake by Anne Gracie. I had picked this out for some of the historicals I wanted to read in 2024. Gideon was definitely the perfect rake. Again, the hero falls first, and this one is a woman on the run. Prudence and her sisters needed to get away from her abusive grandfather. Well, it's actually women, because it was Prudence and all her sisters. Prudence was considered the ugly person, but Gideon never saw that. He saw her as being perfect, and he couldn't understand why people were saying that she was not pretty. And I actually sort of love that about them. When the girls get to London, they stay with their great uncle, and they had to concoct a lie so he doesn't write to their grandfather, because their grandfather was really, really abusive to them. So be aware of that going in. Prudence says that she's actually engaged to the Duke of Dunstable. Listen, words are just eluding me today. So she goes to his townhouse in London, and she's talking to Gideon. She thought he was the Duke, and in fact, he actually wasn't. He was the Duke's cousin, and he was very intrigued from her from the start. It was really, really well done. I feel like Prudence could hold her own against anyone. She even made people look like the fool. I loved her. The highway scene had me laughing when she accidentally shoots Gideon, because she was trying to shoot the highwayman. And then she shoots Gideon because he's trying to save her. I was like, oh geez, that's funny. The book was well written and it was just very funny. There was also a second romance with the actual Duke and her sister Charity, and it was a very quiet romance, and it was a very, very sweet romance. And I like that. I like that it was a second romance in a book and not having their romance in the book, because I don't know how you could actually create tension between those two, and I wouldn't want to, because I loved the way their romance unfolded throughout this book. But I loved Prudence and I loved Gideon together. They were fire. It was so great. But be aware, there wasn't really anything besides some kissing and touching for like 95% of the book, because she was like, nope, 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 nope. And he's like, yep, 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 yep. It was great. I was kicking my feet on this one, so just love it. But be aware that there is some trigger warnings. Domestic child abuse, whipping on page, talk of a miscarriage off page, misogynistic comments that were not done by the hero or his cousin, kidnapping, and religious trauma. So just be aware of that. So the last 5 stars I read in September is Silent Lies by Neva Altaj. This is book 8 in her Perfectly Imperfect series. Listen, this is like one of the best mafia series I have ever read. This one, Sienna feels responsible for everything that happened to her parents and her sister. Book 7 was about her sister who was sex trafficked. So she's just like, she's very flamboyant, but it's to hide how she truly feels. Drago is crazy enough to take her on because it's an arranged marriage. And he knows that she was sent there to spy on him. It was really good. She was very much a girly girl, and very, I feel like, if you ever seen Wedding Crashers, the sister in the Wedding Crasher who was like, I love you, let's get married. That, she reminded me of Sienna, okay? That type of personality, the crazy over the top personality, that's Sienna. And I really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that he was like, I'm going to literally, and he did, he literally scooped out eyeballs with a spoon for anyone who looked at her. So yeah, he was ruthless enough for that. So he was definitely touch her and I will kill you. Very slowly and very torturously. I really enjoyed it. So listen, this whole series, I have to give this whole series 5 stars pretty much, because it was just fantastic. And I love their relationship and their banter. This book is just so good. So anyway, those are the 5 stars that I read in the month of September. Let me know what you have read down below. I would love to know. And if you read these, what did you think about them? Did we have the same rating? I would absolutely love to know. And if you made it this far in this video and you want to let me know that you've been here, but you don't want to say anything, please leave me the fall leaf emoji. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.